We applaud Senegal for really electing a very young president. Senegal. That was great. C'est une bonne chose. C'est une bonne chose pour élire un très jeune président. Worldwide, listen to me. Le monde entier, écoutez. It is the United Africans in Diaspora podcast. C'est l'union des Africains dans le Diaspora podcast. Everyone, and I mean everyone, please listen to me, please. Black, brown, white, pink, yellow, green. Gotta listen to me, please. Please. Tout le monde, écoutez, s'il vous plaît. Écoutez. I'm gonna be your host, Mr. President, Pascal Bispas. Je suis votre modérateur, Monsieur le Président, Pascal Bispas. Welcome to the show. Hello, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much. This is the United Africans in Diaspora podcast. And today we come here and just to share some ideas with you guys. And this message is strongly from my brothers and sisters living in America, living in Europe, living in Australia, living in Asia, living everywhere else. And everybody else, every race that can be listening to us. Well, this is an African message, and we want to talk about it just briefly. As you well know, our platform is called the United Africans in Diaspora podcast. What does that mean? We just want to talk about our motives, why we are doing this, why we are creating this platform, and why we're trying to unite everybody to a common sense, or maybe to a common idea, or to a common understanding. We were born in Africa. Personally, I was born in Africa. Well, it happens that I was born in the big Congo, and I'm Congolese by birth, but I'm now American by naturalization. But this does not take away my African identity. You know what I mean? So, and because we hold it very great at heart, just like the way we hold the American identity at heart, we enjoy the American identity. We see what is happening, we see how organized everything is, and we see how people can prosper if they come together. Well, some little things, let's say in this modern society of America, some little things can be disorganizing people, maybe politics, maybe disagreements on race, or maybe, I don't know, some little stuff, you know. People just disagree but don't kill each other. But for us in Africa, it is different. It's totally different. It is totally different. Once we disagree, we kill each other. Once we disagree, we clash. Once we disagree, we hate each other forever. Once we disagree, like, it is so complicated. I don't know. Yeah, so we want to talk about this from the roots. The roots of this problem. The roots of this problem comes from our colonization. Our colonization left a big mark on our society. It crushed our tissue of composure, of being together. It crushed it completely. And the splitting of Africa just killed everything. We failed to come back together. We failed to come back together because, you know, they say this saying of divide to conquer. That thing was really applied in Africa, and it just worked so well and left the whole African population in shambles. And that's why we are trying as much as possible to just teach our people, teach our population, to just think of coming back together, you know? We have ideas. We have so many ideas that we can share with our governments, with our leaders, with our different people in power or in charge of this big population. We can talk about it. We can exchange ideas. We can exchange a lot of ideas when it comes to, let's say, business, when it comes to economy, investments, development, health, Every little thing. Any person who has lived in the outside world knows a lot of stuff. Unless that person was just not finding out information, or maybe trying something new, or maybe that person was just relaxing and enjoying the Western world. But for us who have tried to learn about the Western world and understand it and see how everything works, we've decided to give ourselves that task to help our people to come out of poverty, to come out of misery, to end these stupid, endless wars. Africans, we fight. Day and night we fight. I don't know why. Well, when these other countries, these other Western world countries, influence that comes to make us fight each other, whenever they see that, they're so happy. They're so happy. They enjoy it. They enjoy seeing an African killing another African, or another African stabbing another African in the back. They really like it. But should we continue like this? Should we continue like this? This is why Africa has to start changing. Our mentality has to start changing. We have to start thinking of how to advance. These other worlds have advanced. For us, we've been left behind. Yet we have everything that can help us also advance. We have everything. Our soil is very, very rich. Our soil is the one producing every material that is developing the technology today. I don't want to mention every detail. You know everything I'm talking about. And if you don't know, try to Google. Try to find out about natural resources that also the African continent possesses. Or some parts of the continent. Africa is rich. Very, very rich. But because now some have helped us to understand that we got the minerals, we got the riches. It's time now to fight over the riches. Because the production of these lithium batteries can't stop. Now we gotta fight for coltan, for cobalt, for a lot of stuff. The production of beautiful, beautiful things that the gold can produce, or maybe our uranium, or maybe it's a lot that we can think about. Even energy, we produce a lot of energy. Our water, our rivers produce a lot of quantity of water where we can set dams and produce a lot of energy. But we can do all this if we are pulling each other, stabbing each other in the back, divided. We are all divided. That's why we keep fighting. That's why we can't help each other at all. Let's say one country has found out that this material is well needed. Maybe in America, maybe in China, maybe in India. This country will try to antagonize everything so that they can benefit from that material. Even though the material is not coming from their place, they will want to create some commotion so that they can benefit. That is how Africans stab each other in the back. Instead of sharing information and say, hey guys, you know what? You got this. We got connections. What can we do? Can we work together? Since you got material, for us we got connections. Boom, boom. Do you know how much that communication and collaboration would bring to these kind of developments that we are all advocating for? If some people, let's say Nigeria, got a lot of connections and they got oil, they only got maybe the big quantity is oil. They have a lot of knowledge about oil and they're selling their oil. But what about other countries that got gold or got cobalt or got all these other materials? If they don't have that big connection, that some connections can be very less. for mafia, like mafia that want to just steal, we don't want to talk about that because those are little pockets, small issues that we shall have to solve once we come together. You know, it has come to my mind to make our people realize that, you know what? We have a big potential, but we just don't realize it. We don't know it. It's like you can have power, but you don't know that you have power, you know? Or you can have potential, but you don't even realize that you got potential. So today we are talking about how Africans could develop if we just changed our mindset. If we just changed our mindset and say, you know what? This is our African brother. This is my African sister. This is my African whoever. Let's help each other. Let's learn from each other. Let's share the culture. We got a big, diverse culture. Big, diverse culture. But you know what? That thing of divide to conquer has divided us into tribes. Tribe, 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 tribe. And now you find this tribe doesn't like this tribe, and this tribe doesn't rhyme with this tribe, and we keep clashing. We can't do anything. And generations come and go. These generations, they would have changed all this, but they come and go. So we don't want our generation to just pass. We want to change this stuff. Well, we can change everything, but we shall create the momentum for change. You know, just look at how the African continent is structured. The structure is all wrong. Why do we still have borders in our continent? Why do we still have borders as we speak right now? Because the colonization ended. Why do we have so many presidents? These guys would have been like governors. They can govern, they can lead the continent, but decentralization, that's how it's called. Then we should all think of coming up with a president. We should think of coming up with a president. This is an idea that we can table on the African Union. We always see those guys go there to go talk about stuff. And once they leave the room, they stab each other in the back. Same guys. That's stupid politics. And it can continue like this. You always find guys sign accord or maybe treaties or maybe they sign agreements. Oh, okay, we shall not fight again. We shall not fight each other again. And after a week or 2 weeks, they're back fighting. What is this? What is this kind of confusion? So, and that's why most people around the world, whenever they see us Africans acting like this, they think that our brains are very less. Even though we act as if we know everything, we are very stupid. We are very poor-minded. Because we have to admit it. We have to admit it. There is no way it can take us 50 years to change the course of our history. There is no way. That is our characterization. Because if we don't change that kind of mentality, we shall still stay there. 50 years back, 50 years pass, 50 years up to now, and maybe after now, and we still want to be the same? No, we can't continue like this. Look at our presidents. Some presidents lead the countries for 40, 50 years. Doing what? Doing what? Are you the only one with a vision? Or you just want to oppress that population? And that's why we've lost respect all over the world. That's why any mafia can decide to come and cause havoc in our countries. And they don't care because they know these guys are just killers. They don't care. They kill each other for nothing. But we gotta change that. We gotta change that. We have the power and capability and possibility of changing that. We have to eliminate these borders. Starting by eliminating these borders. Starting by crashing down all these things of blocking us to communicate and move in each country. Can you imagine a fellow African would need a visa to go to another African country? Up to now, I live in America. Well, America is well well prepared, well structured, good governance, everything. We have very small problems, but we manage our problems here in America. But now when we come to Africa, it becomes something else. You know, you can move from Ghana, going to Togo, or maybe going to Cote d'Ivoire, or maybe going to Nigeria without a visa. Or maybe coming from Uganda, going to Kenya, you need a visa. What? You know? Coming from Congo, you want to go to Congo, Brazzaville. I don't know if they need a visa because they only share like, it's one Congo, but before you go to Congo, Brazzaville, you need a visa. Really? Huh? I don't know. What's this? Up to now, we can't even start changing these kind of things. We gotta really start changing these things. I understand actually there is a country in Africa where one visa is $250. 250 US dollars just to enter a country. From one African country to another country. That's very ridiculous. So we gotta change this. South Africa, well, they always show us the good leadership, but, well, they also have a lot of divisions among themselves. And you ask yourself, okay, when will an African brother help another African brother if we're just there fighting each other for nothing, fighting? We should identify our own common languages. We should identify what we can do that can bring us together. We should try to create something that can bring us together. Like, let's say money, or we can create a note, or maybe a currency that can bring us together. We can create, like, we are not going to abolish all these other currencies, but we shall just create another currency that can be a little bit on top of all these other currencies so that it can be uniting Africans. Because this is the biggest problem we have. And now, for us people who live in these Western countries, Africans, let's say Africans, we bring our backwardness from Africa up to these countries. You find like, I'm from the Congo, this one is from Rwanda, this one is from Burundi, from Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria. We all don't cooperate, we don't communicate, we don't talk, we don't rhyme. And you're like, what is this? You know? Sometimes some free-spirited minds, like I do, sometimes people come together. Like for me, I love my brothers. I love my African brothers. Sometimes we meet over like a drink or something. We exchange ideas. We talk about stuff. You know, we come up with ideas. We generate ideas of how we could see a world changing in Africa. But you know what? It's so hard to convince everybody. It is so hard. And that's why it is very important for this platform. As we start creating this kind of conversations, we start changing our mindset. So, guys, please comment and share and let us know what we should be, let's say, focusing on that you think is the root. Because let me say, for us who are already living in these countries, we don't know much of what is happening in Africa, but we can follow, we can see the news, we see everything. Nowadays, there is social media. People see everything that is happening everywhere. We applaud Senegal for really electing a very young president. Senegal. That was great. C'est une bonne chose. C'est une bonne chose pour élire un très jeune président. That was great. Look at this country, the country for Ibrahim Traore. Dang, I forgot the country. Huh? The guy is just changing almost everything. And I love the zeal and the courage of this president. He's a young man, but he's showing people that Africa has to change. Well, he's a motivation. All these young chaps are a big motivation to all of us. So let's start thinking of how we can advance and cope and maybe challenge other countries or maybe other continents that are really, really getting everything from us. The music industry, every sound that the music industry produces in the world of today originates from Africa. Do you know that? But because we don't know, we just sit there and we'll just let this pass. We can't let this pass anymore. We are learning everything at a time. We are not learning one thing at a time anymore. We are learning everything at a time. You know? Because that's what the new social media has brought to us. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, what, everything. Something can be happening in my deep village right now, but if they send me a video, I will see everything that is happening. So guys, please, this is the moment. We should stop this nonsense. We should start communicating. We should start talking. We should not be stabbing each other in the back. That's not what diplomacy is. Diplomacy is not about you being on top of everybody. Diplomacy is not you being like, okay, now I'm going to show that I'm very powerful and I'm different. We are all Africans. Whenever we show up in any other place, they look at us the same. So never act as if you are very special than another African. We are all the same. Either you're a president in Africa, whenever you come to America, whenever an African president shows up in America, they don't give a shit about who you are. Like, nobody even knows you, you know? And that's why, brothers, let's start strategizing. Let's start having this mentality of coming together, okay? It's not going to cost you anything to like this page or to subscribe to this page or to subscribe to this channel. Guys, let's start from here. And then we shall have a lot of exchange of ideas, a lot from every corner, because we all know we got a lot to share. And I got a lot of friends who can bring in a lot of information, because they say a wise man is always a quiet man. And let me tell you this, I think we got a chance to pursue our dreams once we start sharing information. Because it would be better if I knew before I do an investment somewhere that this is going to work. Or with the laws of this country, this is going to work. With what is happening in this country, this is going to work. Because I don't want to go to Nigeria and set up an investment and then I come to realize that it is actually impossible. Or maybe any other country. Well, I know most countries have open arms, but we want to know about the laws of different countries. How do they work? And is there a way, just throwing things up there, is there a way we can come up with our own kind of constitution? Just throwing things up. So a constitution to me is like policies and procedures. How do we create something that we know is going to be beneficial for us? We can draft policies and procedures for the benefit of our people. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Because everything is possible. And we got the brains to do that. We got everybody who has learned and developed their brains here, went to school, studied. We got boys and girls who have really graduated here in America, in Europe, in where we got a chance to create something strong for ourselves. We got AI, artificial intelligence, that is really using our resources in Africa so that it can really advance. Why can't we benefit from it? So guys, this is just a tip of an iceberg. And I hope you guys grab my message properly and let's grow together. Okay? Yeah, here we shall not babysit you. Yeah, if we know you did something wrong to a fellow African, yeah, we shall call you out. If it is just malice, like what is happening in Sudan, or what is happening in Rwanda and Congo, or what is happening in these other big conflicts that can't end in Africa, we shall start calling you out because this is too much. We can't have it anymore. We shall start calling you out because Africa has to come together, either we like it or not. We have to come together. Now we are doing things by force. Now we are doing things by force. If you're an African, I don't care how you look like, you have to love me, I have to love you. That's how it's going to be. One thing above all else, we have to preach unity. Because this unity is the one that is going to help us to conquer all the fears we have, all the challenges we have, all the limitations that we have. We have to conquer our fears by having a great unity. Because that's how it is. That's how every other developed world has come to realize their dreams, because they had to forge unity. They had to create unity by force. That's why in America you find Democrats and Republicans maybe don't like each other, maybe don't appreciate each other, but they don't hate each other. Once an American is attacked, all of them join in to defend. What about us Africans? What do we do about this? We have to start thinking. Get me right. Get me right one more time. If you don't love me, I'll love you. I don't care. If you're an African brother or an African sister, I don't care. I will love you by force. And you have to love me by force. Because that's what it has come to. Yeah. Peace and love. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the United Africans in Diaspora podcast.